Hello, another video. It's a world record. I'm just pumping out the videos this week. You've seen this story, the lack of oxygen in India and people dying from the Wu flu. Um, I want to break down this story because this seems to be quite a prevalent story right now, and it's being pushed by the system. Every time that a story is getting pushed by, well, the reason why this is getting pushed by the system is again, we're back to the fear mongering, and putting everybody in fear. There's nothing like looking at a screen with a bunch of supposed bomb funeral pyres here. Um, but this is what the system does. It pushes the fear. But like I said in that last video I did, there's an underlying truth in everything we see. You can't deny it. It's everywhere. And this is the problem that the system has, is that the truth is in everything, but what the system has to get you to do is believe the lie. Okay, so let's break down this story. So first of all, it's taken place in India, and if we extend India out a little bit, the name, in Diana. Okay, so you'll have heard me reference um, in Diana before. It's like Indiana Jones. In Diana is Jones. Jones is the one. Yeah, it's got the one right in it. So we're back to this idea of being inside Diana. Diana is the moon goddess. Diana is the womb. That we're all in right now. But what we've ended up in is we've gone into the crony, right? The old crone. No doubt we have the old crone virus right now. That's the epidemic that has taken over the world, is the man-made fictional system. Yeah, that's the real virus that the stories and the so-called physical virus is representing. Yeah, this is why these stories come to light, to highlight what's going on behind the scenes. So we have this is representing people within Diana, okay, in the fictional system, and they are dying from the old crone virus because of a lack of oxygen, right? Oxygen's the first thing that we need in order to be, in order to live. You can't go a few minutes without oxygen. Well, some people can go a few more minutes without oxygen than other people, but you need oxygen pretty much moment to moment. This is going to get interesting, so just bear with me. Right, so what I want to do is I want to go to my little paint sketch, because just keep this in the back of your mind for a minute. We'll pop back to this in a second. Okay, I've got, actually, where I want to actually go first, sorry about this, where I want to go first is, let's look at oxygen right here. We're going to go to the periodic table, okay? And let's come over to oxygen, okay? It's got, its atomic number is 8. So let's bear that in mind first, because the symbol for oxygen itself is the O. Do I need to break down what the O is? The whole. This is this is interesting as well. This is the whole. This is the one. Yeah. This is the place where you come out of, the middle of that. It's a whole cycle. And when we spell whole, we just put a W in front of HOLE. Yeah. Interesting, isn't it, the way some of these words work? So this is the whole, the one, the place where we are born from. Okay. What we're breathing in is, in the atmosphere, we're breathing in O2, right? That's its whatever you want to call it, chemical formula. So we're breathing in, or molecular formula. I don't know what the correct term is. I'm not a scientist. So we're breathing in O2, right? Right, let's go to my other little sketch pad. Let's put two O's together now. What do we end up with here? You can already see where this is going here later on in the video. This is my little sketch here of a double O. So the double O, the place where we are born from, you've guessed it again, it's the torus. That is what an atom is. We are born from this point, from that cross in the middle of there is where we spring from. Okay, that's where all life springs from. This thing in itself, okay, when we put the two O's together and we form the 8, the figure 8, which is the donut, this thing itself is, if you look down on it, it's an O, right? Okay, well, that's cleared up. So this is the very place that we spring from. And so in the real world, the physical world, we are given this reference with oxygen. It's the very thing that we need. It's the fiction that we're born from. Okay, I don't know the best way to explain that, but it's the yeah, it's where we come from. Essentially, we come from nothingness, from the fiction. Okay, and we spring into life. And so it's represented with the very thing that we need to breathe first of all. Okay, so there's a lack of oxygen, right? Here's an interesting idea, right? When you are inside the womb, because when you're in the fiction, when you're in Diana, you're inside the womb. Just like Neo was in the little pod in the Matrix, he's inside the womb there, right? That is the womb, inside that egg. Okay, when you're inside there, what are you breathing? You're not breathing, yeah? So all these people in India right now that can't breathe, that are suffocating, I mean, when you're suffocating, you're drowning, yeah? You can't breathe. So all these people that are drowning from the old corona, from the old corona, yeah, they are inside that womb. They are not breathing any oxygen, yeah? All they're doing is they're breathing through their mother. The mother is supplying them with what they need, yeah? And it's starving them, yeah? This is just what I'm seeing anyway. So, you know, this is what the system does for us. It provides the so-called nutrients that we need to survive, or the so-called things that we need. Well, it's become corrupted. You know, we want more and more and more, and that is a symptom of being in that system. Yeah, that's the problem. When you're in the system, you know, it's like a self generating feedback loop that just grows and grows and grows and grows, and at some point, well, it's got to come to an end. But yeah, when you're starved of oxygen, you are essentially brain dead. You know, this is why people can't think no more. You know, this is with my good grammar, but this is why, you know, this is the idea behind these sort of things. Okay, so I think, you know, just while we're on the top, before I forget this, because I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I believe, if I recall correctly, there is 118 elements in this table. Just keep that in the back of your mind when we get onto the rest of this video, because I'll probably forget to say it, but there's 118 elements in the periodic table. Okay, so oxygen is the very thing that breathes life into you, yeah? Okay, it is the fiction, but what we have to be is we have to be balanced with the ability to use the fiction, right? If we're not balanced, then we're in, you know, we're in the old crone, yeah? We're not in Diana anymore, we're in the old crone. Anyway, what more do I want to say? This is about coming out of that control system. So let's get on to, because I thought this would be interesting to talk about while I'm on, let's just put this up a bit so you see it a bit better, but while I'm on this, let's just look at hydrogen, because we're going to get on to water in a minute. Actually, before we do that, sorry, I'm going to be all over the place a little bit here. Actually, no, I want to go, sorry. I want to go to, let's go back and just finish up with this. Just one last thing. Okay, other things that we see here. Well, to me, this kind of looks, this kind of looks a bit staged, but, and that's no disrespect to people. Maybe people really are dying. Who knows? Who knows anything? Let's just look at what we see here. These funeral pyres, right? What is happening here? This is, when we're thinking about rebirth, the very first thing that comes to my mind is the phoenix rising from the flames, right? And so we've got this, all across this image right here, the phoenix rising from the flames. We can also look at, what these people are essentially, this is showing you what these people essentially are. They're essentially fictional. When they are burnt, they are nothing but smoke and ash. Yeah. So where, again, the people that believe in the corona, the old crone, are essentially living as a fictional entity. Yeah, they're not real anymore. And interestingly enough, what we've got here is we've got a black hole in the center of these funeral pyres, and then we've got the white around the outside again. We're back to the corona again. I don't know. Anyway, and actually, you could kind of pull from this, the different colorations of these piles, and the fact that they're kind of circular. They kind of look like moons. I mean, that may be a bit of a reach, but I mean, boy. Anyway, let's end on the oxygen thing, because let's look at, when you're not breathing oxygen, you're in the womb. What are you breathing essentially? You're not really breathing, but you're in the water. You're breathing water. Okay. Interesting. Okay. And just another thing. The two oxygen molecules. We have to have two atoms to make the oxygen molecule. Sorry. Again, we're balancing. Yeah. We're balancing the atom. There's two of them. Okay. Let's look at oxygen now. Oxygen. Let's go. Hang on a minute. Let's go here. Sorry, I'm all over the place with this. Let's look at hydrogen, because if we're in the womb and we're breathing water, and we're having to deal with water, and we are largely made up of water, and it's it's the second thing that we need. Yeah, you need oxygen first, then water, and then food. Yeah. So water is super important, and it's the combination of different atoms. Yeah. So now we're dealing with the two legs again. Yeah. The twin towers, man on wire. Remember that last video I was talking about that imagery in the Dua Lipa song, and we had the bar joining the two towers. Again, we had two sets of those things in that video, and again here we have two towers with a bar coming across, and we're going to need two of these, yeah, because it's H2O. Interestingly, let's look at the atomic number. Let's look at the atomic weight. Well, the atomic weight, 1008. Pretty interesting. The number of man. Let's look at. So this is, we'll get onto these numbers in a minute. Just bear that in mind. Look at the oxygen again. 15.99, which will round to a 16. It's group 16. And this thing, the 16 again, the 16 is again Mother Nature. It's the golden ratio. It's everything we see around us is in the golden ratio. Yeah. So we're back to Mother Nature again. Where do I want to go from here? Let's go and look at my little table, and we'll start piecing these bits together now with my 5-year-old handwriting here. It's finger writing. Okay. What do I want to say? So we've taken these elements from the table. We've got the atomic. We've got their numbers here. And so we've got hydrogen 1, hydrogen again 1, and we've got the 8 on the end for oxygen. Okay, so we've got the 118 coming back up. That very same thing. This thing, if you've not been following my videos, this thing here, the Leviathan cross, yeah, the cross of Lorraine in here, this thing, the very place that man springs from, the center of here, and this is what man has to be, balanced. He has to balance the physical and the metaphysical. Yeah, this is why this symbol is so important, and it shows up. Oh, it shows up in a number of different places. Not to mention, it shows up in Lucas numbers, and that chart that I did with different sets of Fibonacci type numbers. Okay, that's in a previous video if you want to go look that up. It's really interesting. But let's go back to this thing. So we've got HHO, right? H2O. So again, with the twin towers with the line coming across, yeah. And if we look at this, if we put this here, you can see where I'm going with this. Look at this Who right here. A very similar looking, in terms of looks, very similar looking word. I guess it's a word. I don't know. But the hoe, the hoe that you're in, the old crone is the hoe. Then we're in the hole as well. I mean, the first two letters of whole right here. If we look at a W, we call it a double U, yeah? Phonetically similar, right? So U and W, and the double V, Germany calls it a double V, right? And we would write it more. It depends on your style of handwriting. Some people write it more like a double V, and some people write it like a double U. But the V and the U, that is the womb where we are from again. It's the center of the torus again. The X marks a spot, the place where you come from, right? So the U for the uterus, the U shape of the womb, the V shape of the womb, it's all the same stuff. And this is why this is interchangeable, with Germanic language and English language and all the rest of the languages that all come from, let's just say Latin for now. I know there's deeper roots than that, but all this language, you've really got to look. I mean, I'm finding more and more with the phonetics of stuff than, sometimes it's nice to look at the etymology, but really just listening to the sounds is a good way of looking at stuff. Anyway, I don't know what I'm waffling about now. So we got these two things. Well, I was just like, because this does look like a W. Hang on a minute. If I just stacked it the other way around, and the same with the with the W here with the double V. If I just I can just stack them around the other way, yeah? Instead of writing them next to each other like this, yeah? Why not just stack them on top of each other? And if you do that, you actually end up with a symbol. This is very similar to a H. And we're back to water, the very thing that the Hoover Dam is containing. The very thing that the symbolism of the dam, the V of the dam, the very thing that it's containing is the HO, the H2O. It's super interesting, and all this the old Chrome virus right now is being orchestrated by the WHO, the World Health Organization. It's really interesting, isn't it? So we've got the 118 of the Leviathan Cross right here with the periodic table numbers. We've got the what I want to say, the alpha. What would you call this? Just the letters of the symbols for the elements. Actually, I mean, I don't think I'm reaching too much here. I think we're getting a who from this. And if we inverse this thing here, if we inverse this, i.e., well, I don't know. Anyway, just, yeah, you get my idea. One H and two O's. We've got who for the Hoover Dam, yeah? And if we look at this again here, let's look at this, the numbers that are here, right here in the start of the Hoover. We've got these very same numbers. Let me scroll down a minute. I got them down underneath here. But look, the H, all we have to do is extend over a little bit and just flip the double O around. Yeah? And we're back to the Leviathan Cross again, the 118, or the 1118. Yeah? The 1118, sorry. Boy, it's super interesting. So this is the very thing that you are breathing right now. You are in the womb breathing the H2O might come out of the control system. That's the thing that's feeding you. But it's interesting that that's the second thing that we need, in order to maintain life. First we need breath, then we need water, and then we need food. So yeah, I don't really know what's going on here, because we, with the Legs 11 event, we had this is, prominent in that event. Ground Zero is prominent in that event, yeah. X marks a spot is ground zero, yeah. And I guess what I'm trying to get to is, if we're going to count down to the next event, maybe we should be counting down, yeah. Because I mean, the bull drop, everything, the bull drop, everything's a countdown to the big event, to the awakening event, right? To everybody coming to that realization of what this place really is. And when people do, the world should hopefully be a better place. But who knows? But are we counting down? We've got to get to zero. This is what I mean, I don't know, I'm just floating this idea out there, but this is where we've got to get to. This point here, X marks the spot, is the center of the hole here, yeah? The center of this hole. That's where we've got to get to. Interestingly enough, the band The Who have the, I don't know what you call it, insignia. It's the RAF insignia. And yeah, if you count down to the bullseye, to that place there, to the center, which is ground zero, the center of ground zero. So if we're going to zero, we should be looking at a countdown, yeah? So that's interesting. I mean, I don't know. 118. This is, we're one less than 119. I think that's enough for this video. I thought that was interesting anyway, sort of breaking down the, you know, these ideas that are in the world, and like the things that we need to survive. You'll hear truthers going about, we've got to have clean water. Well, you've got to have clean air as well first. You've got to be able to breathe. And this is exactly why we've got this bloody mask on right now, because it's showing you what the old Crohn virus is doing. The old Crohn virus is trying to suffocate. It is suffocating you. It's not trying to suffocate you. It is. Put a mask on and go and run 10 miles, and that's what's happening, guys. You don't have to. This is the way the system works. You have to believe that lie in order for them to control you, for the system to control you. You have to believe the lie, because everything else is truth. Yeah? And if you don't believe the lie and you look at the truth, then you're free, because there's nothing to be fearful of, It's my own personal belief that if you decide to live your life, like I would say, in nature, in truth, and in balance, then there's nothing to be fearful of. There really isn't. This whole program, this whole play that God's written here. If you're going to go down, if you're going to create something to enjoy, but you also want to be able to experience, the swings of imbalance, right? You're not going to put yourself in a situation. You're always going to leave your. It's like a back door, if you like. In computer games, people go on about, well, there's always a back door, or when people write computer software for systems and that, they have a back door. Well, there's a back door. There's a back door in the Matrix. There's a back door, and the back door is nature. It's balance. That is the safety net that protects everybody that wants to. If you want to move into balance, you are automatically protected. That's what, moving towards Jesus is all about. Moving towards Christ is about balance. Christ, the cross. It's about moving towards balance. And once you're there, that thing, Christ will protect you. Balance will protect you. Okay? That's our saving grace in the world. That's the back door. That's the fail-safe. Yeah? That protects everybody. If you want to be in that place. There's nothing to worry about, Crazy people telling you you've got to do this, that, or the other. Crazy people telling you everybody's going to die. You don't have to worry about that stuff, because if you live in balance, you're automatically protected. Anyway, enough of the waffle. Yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Hope you enjoyed. Cheers. Bye.